Every aspiring mountaineer is dreaming of climbing their first 4000 meters peak, so here's what it looked like. We woke up bright early, packed our stuff and left our Airbnb on a rainy day. Then we took the car for a 2 hours drive from Chamonix to Italy, came across some beautiful landscape, and we finally arrived at Bird Sevrinia with a crazy view on the Matterhorn. First time for me to see it in person, and bro, this peak is so intimidating. We checked the weather for another billion time to make sure our summit window was still up to date, but we had to hurry to get to our gondola tickets, and surprisingly there was nobody going up. We was pretty much alone. So we took 2 different gondola and finally arrived to the last one that looked like a spaceship, like look at this. Then we arrived at 3450 meters, just a few steps from the refuge, and as you can see the weather was not on our side that day. But anyways, we unpacked our stuff and chose our bed before anyone joined the dorm. From there we pretty much had to wait for the day to pass and make sure to stay hydrated and eat enough food to avoid any altitude sickness. But after a rough night we woke up at 4:30 am, checked our gear and went downstairs to eat a breakfast. Our first step outside felt cold, but we catched the sunrise on different peaks of the Alps and it was all worth it. We started to cross different steep ski slope, but we couldn't see the Breithorn from here. That's until we reached the Plateau Rosa, that's our objective up here. And it felt really impressive to see a 4000 meters peak just in front of us. We had to cross few crevasses, but glad there wasn't much of them. We then took few breaks during the ascent to stay hydrated and eat some candy for fast sugar, but that's only around 4000 meters that we felt the altitude. It wasn't crazy, but we do feel some kind of pressure on our lungs and it get harder to breathe. So we kept climbing and finally saw the valley behind the ridge, and it was my first time experiencing such view. We was few meters away from the summit, so we kept pushing hard. We got 30 to 50 kilometers of wind around the summit, making the temperature even colder. Then we finally reached the summit at 8:34 am and it took us around 3 hours to reach it. We took some time to enjoy the view and appreciate the effort we put it to get there before starting to climb down. As you may know, Breithorn is a beginner-friendly peak, which can lead to some traffic if you start too late. But we finally arrived at the refuge and celebrate our summit before going back to the valley. So if you don't know me, I'm Abachi, I'm 24 years old and I'm documenting my journey as an aspiring mountaineer. So if you like mountaineering, climbing and hiking, make sure to follow along. It's free and you can unfollow at any time if you change your mind.